Today, I'm going to talk to you about a lot of real things. I like to give presentations, and I have over the years, about real experiences, real things that we've run into, real case studies, and real problems that we've had. I think that helps make our community more successful, and I think when you walk out of the room, hopefully that's going to help you be more successful in your daily lives. And today, I thought about a couple of things. I thought about what you guys probably want to hear and talk about when we talk about how to be successful about deploying solutions across multiple devices and platforms. And I think real success stories, legitimate ones, ones that have happened, decisions that have been made, are probably the best way to do that. We're going to talk a lot about how to make these decisions and how complex they are, and hopefully what you need to be thinking about as you embark on a different endeavor with every single project that you deal with. Because what we're seeing today in the marketplace is that while a lot of people are developing enterprise apps and or external apps for the web, there seems to always be some type of multiple platform component to it, whether that be web, whether that be TV, or whatever it is. And it's an exciting time, but it's also a very complex time. And it takes a lot from, especially for you developers and architects in the room, it takes a lot to kind of cover everything that you need to cover and understand all the questions that you need to ask. And of course, we're going to have some fun with some mobile trivia. So I'm going to need everyone to take out their phones, and we're going to play a little game. I have a bunch of prizes up here in the front. You're going to be able to choose from an FITC hoodie, a little backdrop for your computer. It pains me to do this, but I'm giving away 4 boxes of golf balls today. I usually require a box per round, but there's a number of t-shirts, a hat, and if anyone has a BlackBerry Curve, there's a skin for that as well. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of a trivia game. Not really trivia, it's kind of information that's relevant today. And what I need you to do is text my Android, so get ready to text that particular number. In this particular series, I'm going to ask you 3 questions here, 3 trivia questions at the end, and I'm going to ask you to do something in the middle as well. We're going to have a little contest. Now, when you do reply to my particular questions, I'm going to ask you to put something in front of a particular one so that the program that I wrote for my Droid actually knows how to respond to it. You're going to be putting Q1, Q2, and Q3 in front of your text. Okay? Text case doesn't matter, and spacing doesn't matter, but spelling does. I can't account for every misspelled word in my program, so if you want to try it, text dummy to me right now and just get it set up to set another text. And the only way I can reliably do this, even though if you get a text back that says you have the right answer, it's going to be the first one in wins, okay? And I hold no responsibility for how fast your carrier gets to my phone. That happens to be on Verizon, but we'll see. All right, I see a bunch coming in already. That's great. Okay, so now I'm going to give you all about 5 seconds to get something ready to send me and type Q1 into your phone. And we're going to ask the first question, okay? This is very pertinent information. It's up to date. This presentation will probably self-destruct in about a week, as will a lot of our development environments and code we write because the industry is changing so much. At the end of Q2 2010, which company had the largest worldwide smartphone market share? So I want you to place Q1 in front of your answer, send it along. I'm sure someone already got it, and I'm going to pick a winner at the end of the next slide. So let's start with the opportunity we have, because it's pretty daunting. I mean, if you look at these numbers, it's amazing. 225,000 apps in the App Store. Android market has 70,000 and growing. The number on this particular page that stands out to me is that iPhone passed 5 billion downloads in 2010 in June, and the last billion took 2 months. That's pretty crazy. I love these statistics, and they are all true. They're all backed up with reliable sources on the web. So it's pretty crazy to think about exactly what kind of an opportunity we have, but it's amazing. All right, I'm going to tell you who wins. Whoa. All right, I did test this. Dummy, 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 dummy. Q1. Did anyone get one back that said they get it right?
Nope, not yet.
Really? Okay. Did you guys answer the question? All right, I think they're still coming in. All right. I'll be able to tell in a minute. Hold on. It's not Q1, dummy. Whoever just sent that. It's Q1 and the answer to that question. What's the company? It's Q1 and then the company. Okay, I can see the answers coming in now. That was not right.
Which answer was not right?
Android was not right. It's not a company. Well, all right. It's being a little slow on me, but that's fine. So while I'm doing this, can you guys get ready for Q2? The first one that receives something that you are a winner to question 1, let me know, and then you can come up and pick a prize. If you raise your hand and just shout it out and say, I got it.
Does it say if you're wrong?
Huh?
Does it say if you're wrong?
No, you'll get nothing if you're wrong. All right, so get ready for Q2, and then send it along. Once I go to the next slide. Not Q2 yet. So the second question. Which platform sold the most smartphones in Q2 2010? I want Q2 and then the answer. Wow, I can't believe no one got the first one.
Worldwide?
What?
Question worldwide.
Worldwide. Good question, but yeah, it is worldwide. And so is the next question. Q1 Test. Test is not a company name.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They sold 4 phones.
It's not Test. All right. That's not working so well. Okay, so who thinks they know the answer to question 1? I'm going to have to do this randomly. All right, you right there. Yeah. That's right. Come on up, pick a prize.
Hey,
I'm sorry, it's not working right. Oh, wait, stop.
Hey, we got it.
That's fine. Wait, come on up and pick a prize. Who is 416-731-9333?
No.
Then you were the first one in with Nokia. Just because you said you got it right doesn't mean you were the winner. Everyone gets a response that says you got the answer correct. The first one in wins.
Okay.
All right. Hold on, let me set this up again. Oh, you see, spelling matters. I got a Nikia. I know. That's all right. Okay. Okay, so question 2. Who sold the most in the second one? Now, I'm going to give you the winner in a second. So a few more statistics that I really like. Now, this is your get rich quick scheme. You know, if you're a developer, you have a good idea, let's get out there and develop an app, because Apple's paid out more than $1 billion to iOS app developers. Put an app in the marketplace, charge $5 for it, get 200,000 downloads, and walk away. It can happen. Now, the opportunity here for me is that by 2011, we're going to have 143 million smartphones on the market. So we probably should figure out how to deploy to these things and deploy to them successfully. And with all that said, the reality is that analysts predict that by 2014, that mobile users are going to surpass desktop users. And it's pretty powerful. So this is something we can't ignore. If you're not thinking about it today, you really should start thinking about how to do it right. So let me see if I get a Q2 winner. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go through the Q2s in a minute. I'm going to give you Q3. Let's do Q3. Everyone line up Q3 and then get ready for the answer. Question 3, who was second in smartphone sales in Q2 2010?
Company or?
Yes, what company? Sorry. So, there's a lesson in these questions. I'll be able to give you, I'm going to let these come in, and I'll tell you the answers. There's a lot more people in here. I tested it with 45 people before, but not this many. It's a little bit slow. So I'm sure you all got your answers in. Here are the answers. Now, between 2009, 2010, and Q2, smartphone shipments grew 64% worldwide. While Nokia still has the largest market share, they're growing below the pace of the rest of the market. Android shipments grew to 886%, a little bit skewed because they're fairly new. Now, Android accounted for 34% of the 14.7 million smartphones sold in Q2 2010. That's your answer to the second question. And your answer to the third question is RIM or research in motion. Either one works. They had 32.1%, Apple had 21.7%. And clearly Apple should have a better Q3 because the iPhone 4 came out at the end of Q2. So the numbers will change again. But what this tells you, for me, is that if you ignore some of these platforms, you're ignoring a fairly large percentage of the marketplace, a large percentage of users. RIM's not going away, but certainly there are a lot of complications when you start to talk about deploying across all of them. Now, we have a lot of challenges. We have Blackberries, we have BlackBerry 5s, we have the new ones, we have Droids, we have iPhone, we have iPad, we have a lot of other tablets coming out right now. We have the desktop, we have the browser, we have Air, we have Flex, we have Silverlight. There's a lot of things to think about. Different screen sizes, different resolutions. A lot of challenges, and especially a lot of challenges in data delivery that we'll get into. So these are the questions as a technologist that you should be asking yourself. First of all, what don't I know? And what technology should I be using? What questions should I be asking myself? What should I be asking of my technology staff to get ready? How do I scale? That's huge. Because as I'm going to show you, it can explode very quickly, and you have to be ready for that. How to leverage the platform, and how do I integrate user experience into this whole thing? And how do I make the right decisions? How do I make a good decision for my company? It's all very important and all very complex. In fact, this is probably the most complex time that we've ever had from a technology perspective. So in the multiple device world, I kind of approach it with a little bit of a common sense approach. I think use common sense is probably the best bullet on here. You don't shrink wrap your website onto a phone that doesn't work. And you have to think about what am I going to put on a phone versus a desktop? Because they're different form factors, and they're different screen sizes, and there's a different relationship that people have with their phones. All right, let me see if I can help you. Hold on. All right. Okay, I probably should accept that answer. 416-414-9379. That's you? Come on up. Huh?
What, a typo?
No, you get it right. That's fine. I just didn't have that one in my program. And come on. Give me one quick sec. Six 504-8398. That's you? Go pick a prize. All right, nice job. Good job. Okay. Now, user experience is a big part of this for us, especially at Universal Mind, because our user experience group is kind of leading the way, especially on our multiple device initiatives. And we talk about something called innovation and evolution. And what this is kind of a chicken and an egg scenario. As developers, as technologists, those who develop apps, really, you're the innovator. You put innovation in the hands of your users, and your users turn around and help you evolve that particular application. It's a never-ending cycle until the users run up against something called complexity. Complexity slows the cycle until another innovation occurs. Now, the difference here is that, in past years, the innovations have been coming on the devices. Now, the innovations are great, but what you have to realize is that we're not going to see many tremendous leaps in device changes over the next year or two. So it is going to be you, the app developer, the program developer, that's going to make the innovative changes for the users. And to understand this cycle, and to understand that you actually have to innovate to be successful, is a critical key component to all of this. So when we talk about user-centric, we really try to think about, all of us have a phone in the room. I mean, I'm not going to ask who has an iPhone, who has an Android, who has a BlackBerry, because I'm sure it's about an even mix, probably 30, 30, 30, maybe a little in the other direction. But I can tell you that if you guys probably leave the house without your phone, you probably freak out. And I know I do. And pretty much what you have to understand is that from a user experience perspective, people are looking at their phone really kind of as an extension of their own hand. And they have a very intimate relationship with the phone. In fact, I'm pretty sure that people actually may exchange bodily fluids at some point with their phones. It's that bad. But this intimate relationship has to be respected and has to remain secure, because if they feel like their information is being compromised in this particular scenario, they're not going to accept your particular user experience or use your app or buy it. So understanding that and respecting it is a key to being successful. Now, relevance. Relevance is kind of a term I came up with our user experience group about a month ago. And I truly believe that if you create something that's innovative, you also have to create something that's relevant. Relevant to someone's life. If you make something relevant that they want to use, that changes their life, it makes them more productive, you're going to be successful. Facebook. Facebook is relevant. People use it all the time. It's relevant. They love to use it. It makes them happy. They love to see all the gossip. They love to talk to their old boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever. There's a lot of things out there that are relevant to people's lives. I mean, email's a pretty obvious one, but people use it because it matters to them. And if you don't, you're going to get the finger. They're going to say, no way in hell. So I'm going to talk to you about something real now. And this is actually an application that our company developed called iBrainstorm. And I apologize for the resolution here, but it kind of stinks. The iBrainstorm is an app that, can you switch? Sorry. You ready? All right, I'm listening. iBrainstorm is an app that we developed internally, basically for our design group. Very simple app. It's out on the store right now, and you can download it. And what it does is it basically allows you to be creative as a group, collaboratively. You can draw things on it. You can put ideas together, and you can collaborate, because not only is there an iPhone version of this, but there's an Android version of this. And you're asking me, well, how do we draw on an iPhone and an Android? Well, the real situation is that, if I go into pencil mode here and I say, I'm going to draw a window, I really want it to look like this. I want a close button up here, a little data grid here. I'm going to move over here. I want a pie chart, and that's going to lead to that. And then I'm like, guys, I'm looking for ideas. Give me something. Oh, look at that. Okay, keep going, Joe. So, okay, I'm going to go into sticky mode, and I'm going to, okay, those apply to that screen and that. This application is pretty crazy. I mean, he's flicking me notes that he's coming up with from his iPhone. And it connects over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Of course, from the Android, it only connects over Wi-Fi because Apple shuts that off on us. But that's fine. It works anyway. Very simple app, written by our user experience group. It's a native app, but I'm going to show you some staggering statistics on this. If you want to see more on iBrainstorm, I encourage you to see Joe Johnson's presentation at 4:30. It's pretty sick. Joe's one of our lead senior user experience guys. And Joe, raise your hand. Guy in the nice cardigan. All right, can you switch back? Thanks. So now I'm going to show you what happened when we released this. And this is what you need to prepare for, because this is real. This has happened. And if actually iBrainstorm was an application that you released that retrieved data, imagine the scenario. Submitted on July 11th, accepted in 8 days. Week 1, we had 39,000 downloads. Week 2, it was 94,000 downloads. We had an update of August 3rd, 40,000 downloads that day. And in total to date, almost 400,000 downloads. It's probably past that now, but we took these a couple days ago. Now imagine all of a sudden, within a month, you have 400,000 users and you haven't planned on how to scale. That's pretty scary. Probably going to lose your job if you haven't. So we're going to talk about a real example of something that we put together where we do data retrieval and how we've planned for scale in a minute. Now, in this particular scenario, I think this was number 1 on the productivity in the productivity category for a week or so.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, sorry. And it's still pretty high up there right now. A little bit later, Joe's going to show off something we did with the Adobe Digital Publishing Framework. We actually did an entire application using that for Lady Gaga's record label. And they absolutely flipped over it. This is just one sample of a very large demo that Joe would be happy to show you if you catch him in the hallway, and he's going to show it off a little later too. So let's talk about some of the breaking news that happened this week. Just put this in here because it's topical. So Apple did a little bit of an about face. Third-party development tools are now okay, and kind of expected. You expected them to cave a little bit, especially with the momentum that Android is getting. But now you have a lot of these third-party tools like AppCelerator, Unity, Unreal. All these things are now, well, AppCelerator was okay before, but really it opens up a lot of new possibilities. And while I don't really think we understand exactly what it's going to mean because we're still not able to control the acceptance process into the store, we believe that it's better for developers, but it's also going to reduce the quality of the store itself. Because I think you're going to see some inconsistent UIs, some some not so performant apps, and that depends on their acceptance process, but you're going to basically see an influx of somewhat inferior applications into the marketplace. A little bit TBD, but that's basically our opinion at the moment. So now let's argue. Development platform, HTML5 versus native. Which one should you guys be thinking about? What should you be doing? Well, this is actually a great question. It's a tough question. And it's one that has a lot of, factors. I mean, when you talk to a company, they have certain concerns, and when you talk to individuals, they have others. User experience design, if your company focuses on it, if you believe in it, if you respect the intimate relationship that you have with a device, and people are used to a certain button on their BlackBerry or their Droid or their iPhone doing a certain thing, and your user experience team tells you that they've built a native app, you're going to be building a native app. I mean, you can try to make a browser look like a native app, but it's just not going to happen right now. Features. I mean, also, on that same note, you'll never convince me that you can develop as engaging an experience with HTML5 than you can with a native app. But that also comes with complexities. Features. We're developing a lot of apps right now that require low-level SDK features on a lot of these devices. Low-level Bluetooth tethering, access to other low-level SDKs, the list goes on. But with all that said, if you need them, you're going native. It's a fact. And then there's the maintenance question. And this is where our user experience group cringes. Because a lot of companies are saying, if I don't have to, I don't want to maintain 3 code bases across 3 platforms and have all that staff ready to maintain it, keep up with SDK versions and OS versions and all that stuff. That is a fairly daunting task. So what are people doing, and how are they making these decisions today? They're actually making these decisions based on maintenance. I want an HTML5 app. I don't need access to a low-level SDK. I want one code base, and I want basically it to work across all devices. Not a bad idea today. I'm going to show you a case study that we just finished, and it actually worked very well. So, How fragmented is the HTML5 market? Let's find out. Text the word link to my phone. Or, if you don't want to wait for it, you can go to html5test.com. Let's see if we can crash the site like you're crashing my phone. So that link will give you another link back. And it is literally html5test.com. And tell me, raise your hand, and I want you to kind of raise your hand and yell out your scores. Tell me what your scores are. And if you beat me, you win. I'll use my BlackBerry. If you have a BlackBerry 5 device, how many people have a BlackBerry Curve or a Bold or a Tor? Yeah, you're going to get a 1 out of 1. You guys lose. Sorry. I think you will. If you get something different, tell me, because I've never seen anything different. If you beat me, you win. So let me see a show of hands of what do you think is going to win in this scenario? What browser on what device is going to be most compatible with HTML5?
Safari.
Everything's WebKit based.
Blackberry.
Blackberry? New version?
I'd say Safari, Apple.
Safari, Apple?
Blackberry, the new one?
Good answer. I can't read that. 127, you're on the iPad? Yeah, I did that earlier. Good.
185.
185 for the iPhone? Droids, 170 something? All right, I'm going to use my BlackBerry and open this up.
Show it on the screen, bro.
I am. Can you switch it? 208 on my BlackBerry. So BlackBerry just came out. That's the BlackBerry Torch. And it actually has the most up-to-date WebKit implementation for a browser, and it's more compatible with the 300 HTML5 features that tests. This is all going to leapfrog each other, and they'll keep doing it. But right now they do. So how many people got a 185? Nice. And gentlemen, you over there who said the BlackBerry was going to win, come up and pick a prize. That was great. Okay, can you switch back? Thank you. Perfect. All right. So this is a real example, a real-life example we just finished. This is for a large telco. I'm not allowed to tell you who it is because I'm under NDA, but I will tell you that we built an HTML5 app that supports all the devices that you see up here, even BlackBerry 5. What we did was, to the delight of our user experience group, is we made a technology decision before we thought about the user. So we developed with HTML5, realizing that we probably couldn't provide the best experience with it, but we did it for maintenance purposes. And we did it so that we only had one code base across all the platforms. Pretty powerful stuff. So we had to ask ourselves these questions, and if the answers are different, we couldn't have walked down this path. Do you need access to native APIs? What features do the browsers support? Are we going to be able to do this? Will there be a separate code base for each? And what about future platforms and devices? Well, basically, we did a browser-based implementations. We didn't need the native APIs. We used HTML4 and jQuery. I'm actually excited to see the new jQuery framework. I haven't tried it yet, but it just came out. We augmented it with some HTML5 features, and we actually do have one code base that works across all these devices. Audio playback, that was our issue. It's different on different devices, but we do it dynamically. And we check out the device, we check out the platform, we figure it out, and we handle it on the device itself. All right, so this is for the techies in the room. And we're going to put up a sample of this code base about how we did it, and also this presentation. And it's obviously being recorded as well. So just a little bit about how we did this, because this is a very successful HTML5 implementation for us with a very large company. Again, HTML4, CSS, and JavaScript to create the lowest common denominator. This works across every device right now. jQuery as the app framework. Selective upgrade features, and I'll go over that in a minute. Really, the only thing we're using with HTML5 is the audio piece, and I don't know if you can see the little picture up there, but it's basically downloading ringtones. On iOS and BlackBerry 6, we actually have to create the sounds in JavaScript itself. And as you can see the code, it's right there. Event handling is different on the BlackBerry. It doesn't give you stop events. And in BlackBerry 5, we actually add the default back to the embedded object tag. This one surprised me a lot. On the Android, we actually had to use the native media player because the audio isn't supported in the browser. And that won't happen until Android 3 comes out. So even if you have Froyo, you're out of luck. So we inspect the browser's user agent to determine the operating system version and browser engine. We have a single platform class used to inspect the runtime platform, and that's used to determine what we do with the audio. We use a jQuery plugins for deep linking, history integration, and XML-based UI templating. And all the data is actually served asynchronously, all the sound data and everything. Now, we have to do different things for different screen dimensions, and that's the challenge. We have the iPad, we can flip it around. All the different phones have different form factors and everything, so it has to fit. Now, I think the great thing about this is that this implementation, all the HTML is actually generated on the device, on the client. It's not on the server like the old days, where we figure everything out from the user agent, just deliver the HTML. That's not what's happening. Everything, all the HTML is being generated on the client. Images and sounds are downloaded dynamically, but that's it. And we use client-side logic to do the multi-column layouts when we flip the device, and we detect the device orientation as well. Very successful. Now, HTML5, as you saw with all your scores, kind of fell short in a number of areas. And this is kind of real-life experience. This is what we found out. Audio, video, and Canvas are not supported equally across all the devices. They have different codecs and implementations across platforms. There's no streaming media, only progressive download. And I guess, YouTube is an HTML5 site. Works very well on the mobile, and they do some kind of a hybrid thing with the streaming media. I really am not sure exactly how they did that. CSS3 styles are not consistent. HTML5 APIs, including geolocation and offline storage, are not consistent. If you want to find out what your phone implements, take a look at that page, scroll down. It'll tell you exactly which features you support on that device. And when you're developing, if you're targeting a device, you have to kind of figure out what's supported and what's not. No camera device access. That list could go on forever. I mean, everything from low-level Bluetooth to whatever. Low-level SDK accesses means you're going native. So this we developed based on the project that we did. A lot of inconsistencies. Apparently the big loser here would be Windows Mobile 7, clearly. But as we just determined, BlackBerry 6 is actually the big winner. I guess it also depends on the feature that you might want to use as well. So this was based on all the testing we did, and really the biggest thing for us is we were focusing on the audio stuff, and this is everything that we did test. So everything that you see a red on is a no, it's not supported. Green is yes, and we have an untested one as well. It doesn't look like BlackBerry 6 wins up there, but it actually does. This is the desktop scenario, which gives me a headache, but it is much worse. I believe IE8 scores a 27 on that test. I even tried IE9. The beta just came out. If anyone's tried it, please, if you have it on your laptop, try it. Let me know what the score is. Sorry about that. But, can you imagine? I pulled these off the web, and can you imagine going through these and trying to figure out what you can support? We got a while for the desktops to catch up. All right, so this is what we did as a company. We're working with a lot of large telcos right now. And we said to ourselves, let's build a telco application and use best practices across multiple devices. We learned a lot here. I'm going to go into some of the technical aspects of this. Joe Johnson's going to go into a lot of the how did we come up with the different features on each devices later in his presentation. So we built it across the Android, the iPhone, the iPad, multi-touch kiosk that we use in HP TouchSmart 600 for, and HTML5. We did a Flex, an Air, and a Silverlight application. Air's not up there. So really the highlights here are that we went native, we went HTML5, And we learned a lot about what to do, about the form factors on each devices, how to develop natively on each of these devices. And we learned that, when you're on a phone, in a telco type scenario, you probably can show people what their usage minutes are, but you probably don't want to upsell a phone on a phone. That's more for the kiosk app. And I could walk through the demo, but I'm a little bit rushed for time here. So in this scenario, this is real. This is not some kind of little gameware that's only running on the box. We actually have an architecture behind this. And I'm going to show you, we're actually collecting data off of this thing. And this is kind of a demo that kind of shows off exactly what we're doing. Sorry. Android, iPad. That's all you get. If you want to see the rest of it, you got to go see Joe's presentation. So in this architecture, one of the things we had to do is we had to figure out how to scale. And if you're an architect or a developer in the room, even if you're a business manager, if you look at the middle of that, you should be a little bit scared because that's pretty daunting. There's a lot of things that you have to think about when you're delivering data to your devices, when you need security, thinking about bandwidth throttling, all of these different things. And you may have existing web services, you may have existing remote objects, an entire API tier that's behind your firewall. Do you want to rewrite that for all your mobile devices? Maybe, maybe not. If you're a large infrastructure, you can probably handle this. But there's a lot there. You might be, gathering content from multiple sources, videos from a CDN. And you might actually be optimizing and changing data formats on the fly. In our particular scenario, we're serving data out of JBoss in the EC2 cloud for that telco demo. We're using API translation and data optimization and device optimization to translate that data into JSON and XML for each of the devices, each of the mobile platforms. That happens automatically for us. And I'll tell you how it happens automatically in a minute. But the great thing about this little block here is that we also have analytics. It tells us who's using what function, how often, when, how many times, from what device, so that you can learn from your users as they walk through each and every function on your machine. How do we do this today? Well, we partner with someone. And these are the different areas we partner with them for. Rate limiting, SLA monitoring, analytics. They provide all the security for us, give us SSO across all the devices, burst protection, mobile acceleration. I mean, just converting a web service to JSON for you, that's powerful. You don't have to rewrite that. It happens automatically. And to do that, we use Sanoa. Sanoa is a company that has a great success record. They power Blockbuster's backend and a lot of other major clients as well. And they provide these services, and they do it fairly seamlessly. You only have to point your middle tier, their middle tier, or their services at your back end, and everything kind of happens automatically. So in our particular scenario, if we need to scale and scale quickly, and our larger clients don't want to do that by themselves, we look to Sanoa to help us to do that. And so, in retrospect, kind of walk through some lessons learned here. Instead of doing lessons learned, I happened to watch a movie on the plane, and I kind of liked it. So I changed my lessons learned to something a little bit different. So I know you thought you knew what FITC stood for, but it actually stands for Fight Club. So this is Fight Club Mobile. And so the first rule of Fight Club Mobile is you do not talk about technology without user experience. And I know we believe in that as a company, and we always lead with user experience because of that relationship. The second rule of Fight Club is exactly the same. If someone said Flash is dead, the conversation is over. Walk away. They don't know what they're talking about. A couple of years from now, it'll be everywhere. 2 words, intimate and relevance. Think about that relationship, respect it, keep it secure, and make something that's relevant. The fifth rule of Fight Club, be ready to scale. Don't get surprised. Don't be sideswiped. Think about it before you release. Because if you release something like iBrainstorm and it takes off, you have to be able to scale immediately. No Android, no Air? Stay tuned. Get ready for change. New devices are coming out, new versions of the operating systems. This is going to be a dynamic market. This presentation will be irrelevant in a month, no doubt about it. But you have to be able to adapt, and you have to think about the future. If you don't think about the future as you're developing, you're going to be in probably a heap of trouble. You have to be able to support backwards compatibility, but you also have to think about, what do I need to do to prepare for all these new phones and things like that? What are the standards? HTML5 is a powerful message. And if this is your first experience with mobile development, don't forget to innovate to be successful. All right? Make a difference. You make a difference for your users, and that involves understanding them. All right, let's do some more trivia. More prizes to give out here. All right, and this is not Q1, Q2, and Q3. Get your phones out again. Let me delete this. Hold on. Did I give a Q3 winner? I did. Oh, yeah, you won. Yeah, he won. Right. Okay. Scared me. I almost deleted all the threads. Okay. All right, so text my Android. Now get ready to text with T1, T2, or T3. Huh? If I didn't call your number, you didn't win.
Oh, okay.
But don't worry about it. I have to do this. I'll put the presentation up on my blog, a reference to it. I just got that as a text. Thank you. But I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Pretty cool. And I think you might get the first one, but the other 2 will be a little bit difficult. You guys ready? What's the most popular app across all smartphone platforms worldwide right now today? Wrong. This one should be easy. Come on, guys. No, that was a good answer. That's an answer to another question. That's it. 613, this one. 613-293-2039. It's Facebook. Good answer. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys ready for T2? All right. Now prefix T2 and get ready to send, okay? I'm going to delete these again. Menu, delete all threads. Done. Okay. What is the second most popular app across all smartphone platforms? Second most popular app. Angry Birds, no. Second one, Angry Birds, no. Facebook, no. That was the first answer. Oh, that's T1 still. I'm still getting T1s. When I see a T2, I'll let you know. Skype, that's a good answer, but not right. Farmville, love it. No. Someone already got it right, so whoever did it, type in your answer again. No, not Facebook. This is the end of the presentation, so I'm going to take my time. Gmail, good answer. Email is very popular, but that's not right. Skee ball, no. This is great. All right, while we do that, everyone get ready for T3. These are coming in a little slow. Okay, and you'll never get this one. This is the last slide. Okay? T3, what is the third most popular app? If someone gets that, they can have the rest of the prizes. And Tammy and Joe, you're not allowed to answer. All right, let me get my second winner here. Come on. Good try with Twitter, but no.
Ah, really?
Not YouTube either. Not Shazam. Not blank. No, not email. There it is. 416-617-8815. Google Maps.
Oh.
I know. All right, I'm going to wait for a T3 answer. I don't think I'll get a T3 answer, but oh, there's still golf balls left. Don't leave them for me. I'll take them. All right. Twitter was a good answer. That's in the top 5.
Yeah. My God.
All right. eBay, not a bad answer either. I think eBay's in the top 10. Not Farmville. Farmville's nothing. How much time do I have left? I'm out? Twitterific, no. Google, no. Oh, that's T2.
Can I ask a question while this is coming in? I know you're
Yeah,
running
yeah.
out of time.
Yeah, go ahead. Any questions while we're doing this?
Earlier on, you talked about, you touched on versioning and moved on. And I know that's the whole concept of a dead app is something that's just starting to ramp up now. With HTML5, you're pulling it from updates are happening, and that's cool. How do you think about an application that you deploy and then update it, or make sure it doesn't die out in the field? Is that something you're thinking about?
How do we make sure it doesn't die in the field?
You mentioned how easy it is to deploy an app,
Yeah,
and they download it locally to their phone.
yeah.
Do you think about how you get it off that phone if it's not relevant anymore, or if the information, not really wording it properly, sorry, it's something about applications versus web pages that I feel are different in terms of keeping content relevant.
They're actually very different. Yeah, and I mean, you can control the updates with an app, and that's a very powerful ecosystem. I mean, the App Store is a powerful ecosystem. I mean, the ability to control when the updates happen, user base, tell them when they're available, and that has clearly been a complete success. I mean, you can't argue with the native experience. It's the better experience. I haven't seen an HTML5 app, even YouTube's, that's better than their native one. So it's just a powerful message to think about. And Pandora was that's in the top, but not the right answer. HTML5 has a powerful message. I mean, we developed a very large application with one code base. And if we tried to do that across every phone, and even the phones we don't know about yet, that's pretty scary. I mean, that's a lot of people to have on staff. That's a lot of maintenance. I mean, especially as versions change. I mean, we're still developing apps for 2.1, just because of the percentage of people that only have Android 2.1 on their phone.
And
But
that's kind of where I was getting at, even I'm not sure exactly what the question was, but like you develop something for something that, and just the hardware. is
Bejeweled.
totally irrelevant. You can.
not Google Earth, not MySpace, not Grindr. What's Grindr? Foursquare is a great one, but that's in the. Ooh, got it. Wow, good call, whoever did this.
Quicker.
416-731-9333.
Yeah.
Weather Channel.
Oh.
Excellent job. That was great.
Wow.
So I get the rest of this stuff?
You do, and if you want to be nice, you can pass it out to people in the audience. So, I think basically, what I got out of today was basically, think about your deployments. If you're going out and doing data stuff, you have to take a look at all of the things you have to do to scale. But be careful, because when you release something, it goes viral. 400,000 downloads in a month, be careful. And the native versus HTML5 decision is a very tough one right now. It's hard to say, I'm going to have 3 code bases versus what it can do already, even with the fragmentation. Thank you, guys.